We'll start off with the land acknowledgement. In the spirit of truth and reconciliation, the town of Blackfalds acknowledges that we are on Treaty 6 territory, the ancestral lands of the Cree, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Métis, Dene, and Nakota Sioux. We acknowledge all the many First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and non-status people whose footsteps have marked these lands since time immemorial. We recognize the inherent relationships Indigenous communities have with this land and its creatures and commit to supporting reconciliation and healing. We honor the resilience, culture, and contributions of Indigenous peoples past and present. As we gather, we pledge to listen, learn, and take meaningful action toward a future based on mutual respect and understanding as we continue on our journey of truth and healing. We recognize that reconciliation is not a single act, but a lifelong journey, one that requires accountability, humility, and the centering of Indigenous voices. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce the council for 2025 to 2029 for the town of Blackfalds, starting with Mayor-elect Laura Schwab, who's sitting over in the corner. Moving over here to our Deputy Mayor, Brenda Dennis.
I was.
And over to my left here, Councillor-elect Ryan Brown. Councillor-elect Corey Turtleclib. Councillor-elect Aaron J. Hoyt. Councillor-elect Shane Hansen. And Councillor-elect Jim Sands. We would like to thank all of the gallery in attendance and the family members that are here today to support your elected officials. We have our chain of office that we will be presenting. Alyssa will be presenting to her mother, Madame Mayor Laura Schwab. And we do have Suzanne Alexander here, who will be reaffirming with our council their oaths of office that they have completed earlier this week.
Very much. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to this organizational meeting. I'm honored to be able to share this meeting with the council-elect and the mayor-elect. And without further ado, I will have you recite your oath of office. And what you can do is the Bible in your left hand and raise your right. I'm going to look you up.
I, Laura Schwab, swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of Chief Elected Official Mayor. So help me God.
Excellent. Okay. Melissa, do you want to do the honor? So this is the chain of office that she will put on her mom's. Oh, sure.
So for those of you here that want to know about the chain of office represents the dignity and responsibility of the office and the continuity of municipal governance. The medallion bears the municipality's trademark, and in all of the chain around there, we have all of the mayors that have been elected to the county office.
And so we'll call Brenda Dennis forward, who I believe is the deputy mayor. So Ms. Dennis, I'll just have you raise your left hand and recite your affirmation.
I, Brenda Dennis, solemnly affirm that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of counselor.
Excellent. Thank you. If I could please call James Sandsford or Jim.
Did you say sir?
Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm just going to take that in your left hand and raise your right.
I, James Sands, swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of counselor, so help me God. Thank you.
Call please Shane Hansen for me. If you two could raise your right hand, please, and provide your affirmation.
I, Shane Hanson, solemnly affirm that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law, the office of counselor.
Thank you. And if Ryan Brown could please come forward. And again, if you just raise your right hand, please, and recite your affirmation.
I, Ryan Brown, solemnly affirm that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of counselor.
Excellent. Thank you. And Aaron Boyer, if I could get to you to come forward, please. Okay, and you also are going to recite your affirmation, please, by raising your right hand.
I, Aaron White, solemnly affirm that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of counselor.
Excellent. Thank you. Very good. Last but not least, please. Okay, now I'll get you to hold this in your left hand, please, and raise your right hand. And recite your oath.
I, Corey Torticook, swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of counselor. So help me God.
Who are the keepers? Who's the keeper of the oath? Is it Danielle?
Good evening, everyone, fellow councillors, town staff, our families, and residents of Blackfalds. It is truly an honor to stand before you tonight as the mayor of our incredible community. I want to begin by thanking the residents of Blackfalds for placing their trust in me. Serving as your mayor is a privilege and a responsibility I will take to heart. To my fellow councillors, congratulations. Each of you has earned the confidence of our community, and together we form a team dedicated to serving the people of Blackfalds. I look forward to working alongside you as we make decisions that will shape our town today and for generations to come. To our town staff, thank you for your dedication and professionalism. The work you do every day is what keeps the community running smoothly. Your expertise and commitment are key to the council's vision into turning council's vision into reality. This new term is an opportunity for us to build on the strong foundation laid by our past councillors, to continue fostering growth and to ensure that Blackfalds remains a community where people are proud to live, work, and raise their families. As we move forward, our focus will be on good governance, fiscal responsibility, and communication or community connection. We will continue to invest in the services, infrastructures, and amenities that enhance the quality of life for everyone. And just as importantly, we'll listen to our residents, our businesses, and our community organizations. I believe in the people of Blackfalds. I believe in what we can achieve together when we focus on respect, transparency, and partnership. Thank you once again for the trust you have placed in us. I'm excited for what lies ahead, and I look forward to serving this great community with integrity, dedication, and heart. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, and then closing remarks. So this evening, after we're going to just have a brief council meeting, there's 5 items. It shouldn't take more than hopefully 15 minutes. We just want to invite everyone that's here to go downstairs after if you have time for dessert. If you have to leave, we absolutely understand. But thank you so much for attending this evening. We so appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. And this part of the meeting is formally adjourned. Are we doing headshots now or later? Later? Okay. Okay. I just want to welcome everyone that's remaining, and we're going to call this meeting to order at 6:15 p.m. and it is October the 30th. We've already read the land acknowledgement previously, so we're going to skip that, and we're going to go on to our oaths of office. So we did the oath of office ceremony, organizational meeting agenda. Okay, sorry. So we just need to adopt the organizational meeting agenda for October 30th. Does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll move to adopt the agenda.
I have to go by the light.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay, but you had your hand up, Shane, so go ahead. Push your button. There we go. Sorry, Councillor Hanson.
I'll move to adopt the agenda as is.
Perfect. All those in favor? That is carried unanimously.
Sorry, Brenda.
So we have a business item, 5.1, request for decision, 2025-2026 regular council meeting and standing committee of council meetings schedule.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of council. So the 2025-2026 regular council meeting and standing committee of council meetings schedule report is before you here. Each year following the municipal general election at the organizational meeting of council, it is customary for council to establish its meeting schedule for the upcoming year. This includes setting the dates and times for both regular council meetings and standing committee of council meetings, which are essential for governance and municipal operations. The scheduling of these meetings ensures transparency, accountability, and consistency in decision-making, while also providing the public with predictable opportunities to engage with council. The Municipal Government Act and Council Procedural Bylaw provide legislative framework for this process, outlining requirements for public notice, meeting procedures, and time constraints. As part of this annual process, administration prepares a proposed schedule that takes into account statutory holidays, seasonal breaks, and operational considerations. Adjustments to meeting dates are occasionally recommended to avoid conflicts with holidays and to align with best practices observed by neighboring municipalities. This report presents the proposed meeting schedules for the period from October to October. Council's approval of the schedule by resolution is required to formalize this meeting calendar for the upcoming year. So the proposed regular council meeting and standing committee council meeting schedules are attached to this report, taking into consideration statutory holidays from October to October. Reference to setting of procedural dates is further identified in the Municipal Government Act and Council Procedural Bylaw. So in accordance with established practice, that stipulates that regular council meetings and standing committee of council meetings are to commence at 7 p.m. Council may wish to consider this earlier start time to facilitate a more in-depth discussion on agenda items and ensure meetings conclude in a timely manner. As per the bylaw, meetings are not permitted to continue past 10 p.m. unless there is a resolution of council is passed to extend the meeting. Administration is proposing a 6 p.m. start time for regular and standing committee of council meetings to allow that more in-depth discussion for agenda items. So with that, administration is recommending that standing committee of council meetings that conflict with statutory holidays in February and May be moved to the succeeding Tuesday to accommodate more meetings throughout the year. Additionally, canceling the December meeting to allow council administration a well-deserved break around the holiday season, while canceling the first meeting in August will provide council with a summer break, which is similar to that of our neighbor municipalities, such as Lacombe County and the city of Lacombe. So attached are the proposed regular council meeting and standing committee council meeting schedules with the change to meeting dates and times for council's consideration. And with that, we would ask council to consider the following motions. That council approve the 2025-2026 Town of Blackfalds regular council meeting schedule, in which meetings are held on the second and fourth Tuesday of each month, commencing at 6 p.m. in council chambers, at the Civic Cultural Center, Municipal Office, and that the meeting of December 23rd and August 11th be counciled to allow for a Christmas break and a summer break, and direct administration to bring forward the council procedural bylaw for amendment to reflect the change in commencement date, or commencement time, sorry. Number 2, that council set the 2026 organizational meeting of council for October 27th, 2026, and that council approve the 2025-2026 Standing Committee of Council meeting schedule, in which meetings are held on the third Monday of each month, commencing at 6 p.m. in council chambers at the Civic Cultural Center, Municipal Office, and that the meetings held in February and May be moved to the third Tuesday due to the third Monday falling on a statutory holiday, being Family Day and Victoria Day. And with that, I will open it up to any questions you may have.
Does anybody have any questions or comments? Councillor Hanson, your light's on. You just have to push the button to cancel. Sorry. We have to play with these. That's okay. No, I'm not sure whereabouts to cancel yet. We'll figure that out later on. Councillor Sands.
Thank you. I was just wondering what I understand you want to start earlier to allow for more discussion. I'm just wondering why now? Just because in the last 4 years we've never had a problem, but is it just because of the nature of the beasts in the chamber now that you feel that maybe we're going to have some really good discussion now? Is that why? Because I mean, I'm in favor of it. Absolutely. I'm just looking for a reasoning.
Right. Through the chair to Councillor Sands, that is exactly it, is that we would want to allow the new council enough time to debate the agenda items in full, and not be worried that, they're checking their time or they needed to go to a baseball game or any of that, just to allow for that more greater debate.
Right. Yeah, I understand. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay.
I'm kind of going to echo on a little bit of what you said. In other municipalities, they do change the times at the organizational meeting that would serve our council.
Mhm.
So if we wanted to bump it up, we're more than welcome to do that. But we all know everybody has a working schedule too.
Yeah.
So if it can't work, then this is where we have the discussion. So
Yeah, I mean, I can make it work. I'm not sure if everybody else is available for that as well, but I'll go either way. So
okay, sounds good. Councillor Hanson.
I'm just trying to prove that I can use the microphone properly. I think 6 o'clock is early. I'll be honest. When we had the election forum, a lot of people spoke that 6 o'clock is kind of dinner time, right? So it's not convenient if we're having public hearings and that. I would say that I appreciate more time as somebody that's fairly talks a lot. But yeah, no, I think that 6 o'clock is too early. I'll say that.
So through the chair to Councillor Hanson, we do live stream all of our meetings as well, and they do have the opportunity to attend public hearings virtually. It's something that we're legislated to do. So those opportunities are available to the public.
Through the mayor to administration. I understand that those are available. I just think if you're preparing for a public hearing and you're somebody that has to prepare dinner at home, like I do appreciate the earlier time. I just think of the people that might be presenting to us that it may lessen the engagement by having it at a time when people typically eat dinner. So.
Okay.
It went the wrong way.
Brenda.
Brenda, Councillor Dennis, or Deputy Mayor Dennis, sorry.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Just one comment is when we have a meeting ahead of time, I can make 5 o'clock, but it'll be pushing it. Just like I couldn't make it any earlier than that. Otherwise, Ken might be after me. Thank you.
I'm gonna do Councillor Brown next, so there we go.
For the sake of advancing schedules, is it possible that we can restructure meeting agendas to allow for later substance? So is there a way to revamp the current agenda and schedule so that those who can't come right at 6 have the ability to jump in when it's important at 6:30? Of course, everything's important. It's just some agenda items are more relevant to the public coming in versus not.
So through the chair to Councillor Brown, at the beginning of your meetings before you adopt the agenda, you are able to move the order of events or business items to allow for flexibility.
Did you want to further? Okay. That's I keep hitting the wrong buttons.
I
There we go.
deselected it, yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. I think we as a group have the ability to voice a concern if there are agenda items that are critical. And we do decide that 6 o'clock makes sense to everyone, that we are amenable, and then we can say, okay, we're going to shuffle the deck a bit here and put these items, table them later so that the public can make it. I'm for either way, but just an idea.
Well, and I think it would be good too, like if we're going to advertise a public hearing for 7, we could still start a council meeting early, correct? And then we could just bump the public hearing to 7 o'clock just to make it easier for everyone that's going to come in and talk to us about that. And then it also makes it feasible for people in our community that want to speak, because at 6 o'clock, I do agree with Councillor Hanson, it does make it a little bit difficult for people, but if we can bump the agenda, then I think that would work. Councillor Hoyt.
Sorry, may I?
Yeah.
Madam Mayor, also you do have the opportunity to not only hold public hearings in a regular council meeting, but also a special council meeting as well.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Through the chair to administration, even if we do set a regular meeting time, start time for 6 o'clock, does that prohibit us from changing them for, say, if we have a council meeting that will be discussing some topics that majority of the public or some of the public will actually want, to be in person for? Are we able to then in advance change that public start time to a later time?
Through the chair to Councillor Hoyt, yes, you would be able to by resolution. We would just have to make sure that we give the appropriate notice.
Thank you.
Okay, so did anybody else have any comments on the time? Okay, how about the standing committee and canceling regular council meeting if we need to on August the 11th? What is everybody's thoughts on that? Do we have any thoughts? So normally what our council has done in the past is we've had bumped our standing committees, those two, to a Tuesday. We've never canceled the regular council meeting at this meeting, but we have done it in the summer so we can give enough notice. So I'm just wondering what your guys' thoughts are on that. So the August 11th, the regular standing committee, we could keep it, and then if we need to cancel it, we could, or we could just cancel it now. I know last year we kept it and canceled it a few weeks before.
Sorry.
Councilor Sands.
So I think, that'd be a good question for administration. Do we feel like there's going to be enough items on there to make us make it viable and make it make sense?
Thank you. Often we won't know until closer to the date what we're going to have. The one thing that it does allow for is scheduling for holidays. So if council, if you want to, say, okay, well, this is the time I've got a clear breakup time that I can take off to go for vacation, it works. It works the same for administration. So the one thing is if we leave it and do it 2 weeks before when we know we don't have enough items, then it doesn't really provide for greater scheduling. So that's my recommendation, is that I think if you were consider, we can always call a special meeting. So that's the thing, like you can, if it turns out that we do feel like we've got a lot of items, we can say, yeah, we've got to have a meeting. May not be on the day that we typically would have it. It might be on a Thursday, but you do have that ability to do that.
Thank you.
You're good?
You know what? I'll just say right now that I would be in favor of canceling that.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Counselor Hoyt?
I'm not sure if this would be appropriate to the chair or through the chair to administration, but would we be able to, instead of canceling that in the 2 weeks, or why not cancel it earlier on in the summer, therefore keep the meeting as is, but just if we are feeling that we do want to cancel it, we can cancel it earlier to allow those who want to go on vacation to therefore then plan said vacation. Not sure if that would be to you or to administration. Both.
It's just a comment.
Comment.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a question.
A question?
Are
Okay.
we able to do that?
Mhm. Perfect. Counselor Brown?
Question for everyone. What's adequate public notification when we do cancel? So say we do postpone this, it's 48 hours is deemed appropriate? Okay. If we do decide to cancel, how much room is given?
If I may, if you were to not cancel the meeting and decide later that it would be canceled, you just wouldn't have, how do I put this, the ability to, like, we wouldn't, if you were to cancel it, we could still have an emergency item to call a special meeting. So even if it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks before that date, we could still have an emergency where we need to call that special meeting.
Counselor Turtleclip?
I had to make you say my name once. Just a comment, I'd be in favor of canceling that meeting just to allow staff to book summer holidays ahead of time, give them lots of notice.
Counselor Hanson?
I echo what Counselor Turtleclip says, is that I think we can plan accordingly. I'm for canceling it, and we can always, like, if we need this, I like the idea of scheduling a special meeting, and doing so might be an interesting step as well.
Counselor Hoyt?
Then I also have a comment. Initially, my initial thoughts would be against it just because, to the best of my knowledge, a special meeting would require per diem. Is that, well, period, I guess is a comment. And then secondly, if we just cancel a regularly scheduled meeting earlier on, that should still allow people to plan their vacations without the potential of us, needing to spend more money.
Thank you. I do kind of agree, like, on previous council, I would have loved to have had that break in August. I think it's great for our staff to be able to book it off or know that it's available for them to have it off, especially this far in advance, because it gives them a lot of time to plan, especially if they want to fly somewhere, visit their family. Maybe they have weddings or family reunions. So I feel that for me, I would definitely be in favor of canceling that one. So nobody else has any comments. We do have 3 administrative recommendations. Who would like to move the first one? Councillor Sands.
Thank you. I will move that council approve the 2025-2026 Town of Blackfalds regular council meeting schedule, in which meetings are held on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of each month commencing at 6 p.m. in council chambers at the Civic Cultural Center. And the meeting of December 23rd and August 11th be canceled to allow for a Christmas break and a summer break, and direct administration to bring forward the council procedural bylaw for amendment to reflect the change in commencement time.
Is there any debate or discussion on the motion? And I call the question. All in favor? And anyone opposed? That was just carried. And then the second motion, who would like to move that one? Councillor Hoyt.
I will move that council set the 2026 organizational meeting of council for October 27th, 2026.
Is there any debate on that motion? I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried unanimously. And administrative recommendation number 3. Councillor Brown.
I'd like to move forward that council approve the 2025-2026 Standing Committee of Council meeting schedule, in which meetings are to be held on the third Monday of each month, commencing at 6 p.m. in council chambers at the Civic Cultural Center Municipal Office, and that the meetings held in February and May be moved to the third Tuesday due to the third Monday falling on statutory holidays, Family Day, and Victoria Day.
And any debate on that motion? I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried unanimously. Thank you. And we're on to 5.2, request for decision, appointment of deputy mayor rotation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So it has been customary to appoint deputy mayors throughout the council's 4-year term during the organizational meeting of council. This approach ensures that each council member has an equal opportunity to serve in the role. Typically, appointments are structured to span approximately 8 months per councillor, allowing for continuing while ensuring that the duties of deputy mayor are distributed fairly among members. This practice not only supports succession planning and leadership development within council, but also ensures the municipality is well prepared in the event the mayor is unavailable. Section 152 of the MGA requires council to appoint 1 or more councillors as deputy mayor, ensuring the office is continuously filled. The deputy mayor assumes the responsibilities of mayor when the mayor is unable to perform their duties or the office becomes vacant. In addition to fulfilling the mayor's duties when required, the appointed deputy mayor also chairs the standing committee of council meetings during their term. This responsibility provides the deputy mayor with a leadership role in facilitating discussion, guiding decision-making, and ensuring procedural fairness during the committee's deliberations. Furthermore, as part of the administrative responsibilities, the deputy mayor is required to sign off on the mayor's timesheet. This practice supports transparency and accountability in tracking the mayor's time and ensures the appropriate oversight is maintained. Administration recommends continuing the established rotation schedule, with each councillor serving in an 8-month rotation term as deputy mayor. This approach maintains consistency with past practice and supports council's collaboration governance model and ensures compliance with legislative requirements. And with that, the administrative recommendation is before you, that council consider the following motion. That council move to set the deputy mayor rotation terms commencing with the longest serving members, and then order of highest received votes commencing in 8-month terms, and the order of appointments as follows. Councillor Brenda Dennis from November 2025 to June 2026. Councillor Jim Sands, July 2026 to February 2027. Councillor Shane Hansen, March 2027 to October 2027. Councillor Ryan Brown, November 2027 to June 2028. Councillor Aaron Hoyt, July 2028 to February 2029. And Councillor Corey Torticlib from March 2029 to October 2029. And with that, I will open up any questions.
Does anybody have any questions at all? Councillor Hansen.
Just a question, maybe not for tonight, but moving forward, is the 8-month term, is it a set, or could it be 2 4-month terms throughout the 4 years? Does it have to be 8 months solid?
So through the chair to Councillor Hansen, this is outlined in the council procedural bylaw. So to change that, it would just be an amendment to the bylaw.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions? So we have an administrative recommendation. Would somebody like to move that? Councillor Hansen.
I move that council consider the following motion, that council move to set the deputy mayor rotation terms commencing with the longest serving council members, and then in order of highest received votes, commencing in 8-month terms with the order of appointments as follows. Brenda Dennis from November 2025 to June 2026. Councillor Jim Sands from July 2026 to February 2027. Councillor Shane Hansen from March 2027 to October 2027. Councillor Ryan Brown from November 2027 to June 2028. Councillor Aaron Hoyt from July 2028 to February 2029. And Councillor Corey Turtleclib from March 2029 to October 2029.
Is there any debate on the motion? I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And on to business item 5.3, request for decision, Alberta Municipalities Conference attendance.
Thank you. Thank you, Council. The Alberta Municipalities is a leading advocacy organization representing 264 municipalities across the province. AB Munis speaks on behalf of its member municipalities to the provincial and federal governments and presses for policy changes and funding. An annual conference is held in either Edmonton or Calgary that brings together elected officials and administrators to share ideas, best practices, and solutions. Typically, all members of council and the chief administrative officer have attended this annual conference. Administration is recommending that council continue to take part in the Alberta Municipalities Conference, as it does not only provide a valuable networking and educational opportunity, but it aligns with the strategic plan focus area of pursuing funding opportunities under Strategic Priority 3, Leadership and Engagement. This year, the AB Munis Convention will be held in Calgary from November 12th to the 14th. There is sufficient budget in place to allow all members of council to attend the conference. And I'm just looking for a resolution from council that council authorize attendance and associated expenses for all members of council and the chief administrative officer to attend the Alberta Municipalities Conference from 2025 to 2029. Thank you.
And does anybody have any questions? Councillor Hansen?
Being new to council, what is sufficient budget? How much is set aside?
So the council remuneration review that was completed this year, they set aside, I believe it's $5,000 per councillor for attendance at various functions of this nature. So in previous years, that's been sufficient amount. So I don't know if that answers your question, but typically you would be looking at, it's a registration of about $600 to attend, and then whatever the conference, the hotel is per night, which is usually at least 3 nights.
Subsequent.
I guess through Madam Mayor to administration. Sorry, I keep skipping that part. So it's not a budget for the overall event. It's individual allotments that we have.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions? If not, we do have an administrative recommendation. Deputy Mayor Dennis.
I move that council authorize attendance and associated expenses for all members of council and the chief administrative officer to attend the Alberta Municipalities Conference from 2025 to 2029.
Any debate on that motion? Councillor Hoyt?
I just have a comment and saying that I'll be attending. I just really look forward to representing Blackfalds at the AB Munis.
That's great. I'm looking forward to it too. There's lots of learning opportunities and lots of opportunities to meet with our regional partners, which is amazing. So I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried unanimously. Thank you. And moving on to 5.4, request for decision, Federation of Canadian Municipalities attendance.
Thank you. So similar to the previous topic, the Federation of Canadian Municipalities is that federal arm, so at the kind of national level. They're the national voice of municipal government, which helps to shape national policy. Representing 92% of Canada's municipal population, FCM represents more than 2,100 municipalities across Canada. These include communities of all sizes from major cities to rural and northern towns and approximately 20 provincial and territorial municipal associations. Municipal leaders from across the country meet annually to establish FCM policies on key issues that affect municipalities across the country. Blackfalds Council has a long-standing history of attendance at this conference as it benefits learning from other municipalities, networking with other municipal leaders, and learning about various funding and granting opportunities has proven valuable. Typically, approval has been granted for the mayor, 2 councillors, and the CAO to attend the annual FCM conference. In years when the conference is being held in either Calgary or Edmonton, approval has been granted to all members of council to attend the conference due to the affordability of the conference being held within the province. Administration is recommending that council continue to take part in the FCM conference. And under financial implications, we do have a separate budget line specific to the FCM conference, just due to the cost is generally greater if you're having to fly east or wherever you have to go. So there is a separate line item for that one specifically. And there is a motion that council authorize attendance for the mayor and CAO along with 2 councillors to attend the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Conference. So we do have them for the 4 years. We know this year it's in Edmonton, so we're recommending that all of council be able to attend that. Next year it's in Halifax. We don't know where it is the next in year 3 and year 4. Any questions?
Okay, do we have any questions? Councillor Sands?
Thank you. Through the chair to CAO Isaac. So I'm just wondering, just seeing as how we don't know where the other conferences are. We know what they entail, of course, but we don't know the locations. So how do we go about, choosing which municipality we want to visit? Because there's great benefit in seeing some of these municipalities that you go to on a larger scale, of course, but you still see the breakdown of things, and it's very, very helpful. So I'm just wondering, what do we do? Do we say, because at one time I was looking online and I think I saw one year was Ottawa, but then they pulled that away again.
Yeah.
I don't know why, and then I thought I saw Newfoundland for the final year or something, and then now it's gone.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering, how can we do that? Because I mean, some councillors may want to have a look at Halifax and see, different details in that municipality.
Yeah.
Some might not. Some might want to go to Ottawa, and we just don't know. So how can we make these motions make sense?
That's a good question. I don't know. I have heard that in the 3rd year, it looks like it may be Saskatoon or Vancouver. So it's going to be, and typically it's usually been east, west, east. It usually kind of alternates. I know that doesn't answer your question, but I think it's alternatively, you could do the 2 for this year. You could say, well, we'll look at we'll make motions for 2026 and 2027, and then we can always bring back attendance for 2028 and 2029 to future organizational meetings if you feel more comfortable with that.
That might make sense too. That's a good idea, because then at least we have a little better information. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Councillor Hoyt?
Through the chair to CEO Isaac, on a similar note to Councillor Sands, I was wondering if we would be able to, because we now have a date for our next organizational meeting next year, would we not be able to have a motion each organizational meeting for that upcoming FCM meeting? That way allowing us to both choose who would be attending as well as approve budget-wise. Thank you.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do it annually, if I think that's what you're saying, Councillor Hoyt, whether it could be done annually. Yeah, it certainly can. I think my understanding was that it may have been done at organizational meetings previously so that it could make sure that each council member got to actually attend an FCM. So I think that's why it was kind of set out being done here at the organizational meeting, just so that you don't have somebody that gets to go to all of them and some don't. So it's kind of divvied up amongst yourself. Pull straws.
Counselor Hanson.
I like the way this one's set up. Two counselors going with the mayor, and yeah, I think we could probably set up a structure where we could alternate so that the people that haven't gone have the first right to kind of choose the next one. I just have a couple questions, I guess, in here just for clarity. It mentions there being Blackfalds having a long-standing history of attendance. What does that mean? How many years has Blackfalds attended?
I'm going to look to council because they probably can provide, I think it's at least been into the early 2000s is my understanding, but of course, only being here for the 2 years.
I know, for me, being on council, it's been the last 8 years that I've gone, but I know that they have done it previously, and it probably goes back 10 years before that, if not more.
Yeah, my thinking is 2007, if I remember correctly, because Blackfalds Days used to be that weekend, and they moved it. I think that's why. So yeah, in clarity in our agenda items, it was kind of be nice to know that information, how long we've gone for. The term long-standing is kind of vague.
Yeah.
And again, so this is not an individual allotment. This is a separate line item you're saying in the budget?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah. So I think that sending two in the mayor, from a fiscal responsibility standpoint, I would say sending all members all the way across the country to Halifax the optics of it is not good. Okay.
Correct.
Councillor Turtlecliffe.
Through the mayor to administration, just a point of clarification. It said here in years when the conferences are held in Calgary, Edmonton, it's open to all council members.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Councillor Brown.
Through the chair to CAO Isaac, do we have some notes on previous FCM conferences that we can kind of set a bit of an agenda, and
Sure.
all of council has the ability to say, hey, we'd like to make note of these things. Can we pursue some information and then kick that back in a report and have that history?
Sure.
So I kind of was agreeing with some of you, and I don't know which ones, but I would like to see a motion just for the June the 4th to June the 7th, 2026 FCM, just because it's in Edmonton and it is great for all of council to attend it. It'll give you an idea what FCM is actually all about. There's so much that you learn from FCM. It's a little bit more laid back than Alberta Municipalities. Alberta Municipalities is really busy and you learn so much more, and there's so much more education classes in Alberta Municipalities. FCM, there's a lot more tours that we can attend, so that might be more aligning with our community. So for me, for FCM, my first term, I had to do it at home because of COVID. So my only experience with FCM was in Calgary and then in Ottawa last year or this year, and Ottawa was amazing. I learned so much about the heritage and the politics, and that really made my heart want to run for mayor. So it is very valuable information that you will get from FCM. And I think for our council, it would be great for all of us to attend if you're able to. If you don't want to attend, that is fine too. Councillor Hoyt.
So that being said, I would like to move that council authorize attendance for the mayor and CAO along with all of council to attend the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Conference June 4th to June 7th, 2026 in Edmonton, Alberta.
Is there any debate or discussion on that motion? Councillor Hanson?
So will we be adjusting the budget, or is it, would the extra councillors be coming out of their individual allotment?
No, it'll still be a line item for FCM specifically. So we'll adjust the budget accordingly to factor in all of council's attendance. And just so that you know, the CAO, my attendance comes out of a separate, it doesn't come out of that budget, council budget.
Yeah, I'm for everybody going. I just think that, again, if we have individual allotments, I think we all have to make choices. It's not that I'm not for everybody going. I just think that I like the idea of two in the mayor.
Any debate on, or sorry, all those in favor? And any opposed? Now it's just carried. And then we're just gonna save the other 3 and bring them back next year. So do we need a motion for that, or we can just
No,
leave it?
That's fine. We'll know to bring them back.
Perfect. And our next one is 5.5, request for decision, council appointments to boards, committees, and commissions.
Thank you. Annually at the organizational meeting, council appointments are made to the town and external boards, committees, and commissions for the term of 1 year, with the exception of the ICF and IDP committee. Historically, the appointments to the ICF and IDP committee has been for the council term to provide consistency to the committee. In discussion with Lacombe County, they advise that they appoint for a 2-year term, and as such, council may want to consider a 2-year term so that other members of council also will have an opportunity to sit on that committee. And that would be the same with that tri-party collaborative. We think that instead of appointing for a 4-year, that it should be done either 2 years, and then that way we can rotate and allow other members to sit on it. These council appointments will be effective immediately until the next organizational meeting of council in 2026, with the exception of the ICF, IDP, and the North Blind Man River Tri-Party Committee. Below is a list of the boards, committees, and commissions that require council member appointments. And you guys, I'm sure you've all looked through that, so I'm not going to read those off. And we can just move on down to the administrative recommendation. So you did provide to Mayor Swab your preferences for the various committees. So we do have an attachment to this report that does list out those various appointments. The administrative recommendation is that council approve the 2025-2026 council appointments to committees as presented, effective immediately, with terms expiring as outlined in the schedule. Does anyone have any questions?
Anybody have any questions? Councillor Sands?
Thank you. So I'm under the understanding that for a council appointed chair, we need a motion from council. Is that correct?
For MPC?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we will need to have that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councillor Hoyt?
Through the chair to CAO Isaac, would you be able to just briefly summarize? I mean, we know a little bit about the role, our council's role in the committees, but just for people watching or people online, just summarize what our role on council is on these committees and boards.
So the external, I guess I'll start with our internal boards and committees. So the internal boards, which are those 5, the library board, the police committee board, MPC, you are there representing council and on that board. So you are, as you'd heard from George Cuff the other day, you are there not as an advocate for that committee that you are sitting on, you're there as an advocate for council. So you are there to represent the town of Blackfalds and not to provide any type of commitments to that group that you're sitting on. So this speaks more directly, I guess, to those external boards, because the internal boards are ones that are developed on behalf of the town of Blackfalds. The council has developed, but it would be more to the external boards, such as the Chamber of Commerce, those types of things. Does that answer your question, Councillor Hoyt, or would you like me to provide further information on that?
Nope, that's very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councillor Sands? Hanson,
sorry.
No, no
What did
worries.
I
I've been called worse. It's fine. It's
say?
through the chair to administration. Reflecting on what George Cuff said as well, how often do we revisit the number of committees and boards we belong to, external ones?
Great question. So since I've been here, we did do an audit, a committee audit, where I did bring forward all of the committees back to council to say, what are your thoughts on these committees? We did reach out to the various committees to get their feedback on the value they felt that the committees are being, shouldn't say, the value that that committee was providing. So if we had a member at large sitting on that committee, we wanted to know how they felt about, does this committee need to still exist? So we did that for our internal boards. And then we did bring back to council to say, these are your external boards. Would you like to sit on, would you still like to have membership on this? And I don't know that there was any eliminated at that time. So to answer your question, it was just done recently. Doesn't mean that it can't be done again any sooner, but it was recently done.
Okay. And just, can I have a
Yeah,
subsequent?
subsequent,
Yeah. On our internal boards, those are the library, the rec board, things like that, right? Are we
Yes.
clear to our members that it isn't, like, and George kind of touched on this as well, that it is an advisory board? Because I've learned in the last couple of years from speaking with some members that they aren't clear that it's advisory. It hasn't been clear to them. They've made recommendations and then they're disappointed, which might lead to some of the trouble we have, maybe getting some volunteers for these boards.
Right. So continuing on with the committee audit that we completed, we do have what's called the master committee bylaw that's been drafted, and it has actually been given first reading by council. We then took that bylaw to the various committees just to explain to them kind of what the roles of the committee were, because we were hearing exactly what you said. And we did get feedback from the committees, and we will be bringing this bylaw forward to this council now to get adopted. So within that bylaw, it does explain more the purpose of what those committees are doing, their terms of reference, that they will be coming forward once a year to council to speak to what they've been doing, and to I think it's just more of an opportunity for them to check back in with council, and for council to have that dialogue back with them, so that we don't have these committees that just sit there and feel like they're not adding any value to our governance here at the town of Blackfalds.
Yeah, and I'll just finish by saying I like all the sharing and the promotion of it on social media that I've seen. I think there could be some value in breaking it out into individual social media posts and explaining to people, like, again, advisory board, things that they will be doing on there. I think it would be really good in recruitment. Thank you.
Great, thanks.
Deputy Mayor Dennis.
Madam Mayor, to CAO Isaac. George Cuff mentioned that we shouldn't be a chair of our own committee. Does that make a difference with MPC?
That's a good question. I think with MPC, because MPC acts as the regulatory body for some of the land use decisions that are being made, in that case, I would say that it is fine for council to act as a chair in that particular committee. Some municipalities would not even have a MPC, and those decisions would be made by the planning department themselves, the planning manager. But in this case, what this bylaw has done, it has made that committee the regulatory body. So we are looking at, because of that, it does make sense to have a council member who has some experience in continuity chairing those meetings to maintain the role of chair.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councillor Brown.
Through the chair to admin, I just would like to request the review that was done on the committee involvement.
Sure.
Thank you.
I'd be happy to share that and put it into council resources.
Excellent. Thank you.
So one of the things that we've not done in previous councils is on our town boards and committees, we've never had alternates. And I was talking with CAO Isaac about this because last term we've had council members not attend, and I believe they never reached out to tell anybody they weren't attending. So I think we need to be a little bit more on the ball with this. And I feel that having an alternate because there's so much excitement with this new council, it'll give you an opportunity, if even if it's once or twice out of the term, out of this 1 year, that you get to go as an alternate, then at least you're able to participate, see what's going on, and it gives you an idea too if that's the next board or committee that you want to be on. So, did you find out about the library board though, if we could have an alternate on there?
There is nothing within the act that would permit you to have an alternate. So that would be the one exception is a
Okay.
library board. You would not be able to have an alternate to that board.
Okay. And then I was thinking with MPC, we already would have 3 counselors on there, so we wouldn't probably need an alternate. But we could do an alternate on EdTech, FCSS, policing, and rec if you guys are wanting to do something like that. So what are your thoughts? Okay, so we have 4 spots and 6 counselors. Do we just want to have the new counselors take on the 4 spots since you guys have been on council for 4 years? And it'll, yeah, okay. Counselor Hoyt.
I would really like to be placed as an alternate on the policing committee if possible.
Anybody else? Counselor Hanson.
We wouldn't have an alternate on the library board, is what you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay. So we're looking for,
So we've got policing,
Yes,
that Counselor Hoyt would like to be on EdTech, FCSS, and rec.
I will be an alternate on EdTech with the understanding that, again, my professional life right now doesn't allow for daytime meetings. So
Oh,
as much-
EdTech's evening.
Is it even?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Counselor Turtlecliffe.
I could do a alternate on rec. I'm on the other 2 boards, so already.
And Counselor Brown.
Sorry, just for clarification, these are in addition to the alternate roles that we've already been assigned?
Yeah, it would just be
Okay.
alternate. So if somebody is sick or just can't attend because they're on holidays, then you could just fill in.
Sure, I'll take policing.
Policing. So we've got 2 that want to be on policing, and then FCSS doesn't have anybody.
I'm on
That's fine.
FCSS.
Okay.
Or-
Okay. Just wait then. Okay. So do we want to do a straw vote on policing, or how do we want to?
Oh, I'll defer. That's
You'll
okay.
defer.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So FCSS for Counselor Sands.
Sure.
Okay. So then for, because of what was happening on our last council, I'm just wondering, because of the boards and committees, if you're not able to attend, if you could let myself as the mayor know, as well as the alternate, because now we have per diems attached to some of these, and I want to make sure that people are actually getting paid for what they're doing. And it just makes it easier for all of us to understand. If I'm not here, then the deputy mayor that would be in charge of it, of the payroll for that time, would need to know as well. So if I'm here, please let me know. And if not, then let the deputy mayor know at that time. Counselor Hoyt.
What would be your preferred method of contact for that?
Oh,
Over
just
email?
email, because then it's documented.
Okay.
And then if I forget, then, you know,
Yep. So you as
Yeah.
well, or
Yeah.
you as well as alternate.
Yeah.
Okay.
no, just myself. You don't have to, and the alternate, you have to let know. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking deputy mayor.
Okay.
Perfect, thanks. Okay, so, and everybody was good with their assigned boards and committees? And there's no other questions? Okay. So are we going to amend the motion with the alternates, or do we have to do 2 separate?
Yeah,
Perfect.
we'll have Danielle, go ahead.
Councillor so-and-so moved that council approve the 2025-2026 council appointments to committees as amended by adding Councillor Hoyt, alternate policing committee, Councillor Hanson, alternate EdTech, Councillor Turcliffe, alternate recreation, culture and parks board, Councillor Sands, alternate FCSS, effective immediately when the terms expire next month.
Great. Thank you. Now, in previous councils as well, we have not done the 1-year term. We've actually done the 2-year term. So we don't have to decide that tonight. We can always decide that at the next organizational meeting. But if we are going to repick again next year, we'll need to know probably in September, so I can send out an email and then we can get our picks in for that, just so everybody's aware. Counts or Deputy Mayor Dennis.
So along with that amended motion would be to chair for MPC,
Oh yeah, we
Two?
got it.
or would that be a separate one?
Through the chair to Councillor Dennis, I believe it would be appropriate to do a separate motion.
And Councillor Brown.
I just want to reiterate that I agree with the 2-year term. Given the frequency of these boards and the attendance, I think anything less than that wouldn't give enough time for anyone to grab traction and
Yeah.
help out.
Yeah, and that's what we felt too. That's why we kept them as 2 years. But it also gives you an option if something happens and your work life or your family life changes, you have that opportunity next year to say, hey, I can't do this. So perfect. Councillor Hanson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll reiterate what Councillor Brown said. I think that the 2-year term is good. But I do also like with thinking what I was saying about the deputy mayor terms being long, again, reflecting on what George said, like if we're just there to kind of some of the internal boards, maybe like the external boards, but some of the internal boards where we are just there as an observer, essentially. Like what George was saying is that it doesn't allow focus to be on the person, but the council as a whole. So yeah, we can revisit it in the year is fine. And if we stick with 2 years, I'm fine with that too, but just some things to think about.
Yeah. Okay, and then we have the recommended motion. Would anybody like to? Councillor Turtlecode.
I'll move that council approve the 2025-2026 council appointments to committees as amended by adding Councillor Hoyt as alternate policing committee and Councillor Hanson, alternate EdTech, Councillor Torticlib, alternate recreational board, and Councillor Sands, alternate FCSS, effective immediately, with terms expiring as outlined.
Any debate on the motion? I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried unanimously. And then we just have to pick an MPC chair and vice chair. So on Municipal Planning Commission, we have Jim Sands, Ryan Brown, and Shane Hanson. So I just need a nomination for chair and vice chair. Deputy Mayor Dennis?
Do you want them separate nominations?
Or yeah, if you want to move one and then maybe
Okay.
somebody else wants to move another one.
I would like to move that Jim Sands, since he's experienced with the MPC, to be the chairman of the MPC.
And would anybody else want to throw their hat in for the chair? Okay. And now we'll do the vice chair. We have Councillor Hanson and Councillor Brown. Councillor Hanson.
I'll nominate Councillor Brown. If he so accepts, I believe his role in the community would serve well in the vice chair role.
Councillor Hoyt.
I would also like to nominate Councillor Brown, just his expertise in the areas, and again, his role would be very valuable to the community.
Perfect. Councillor Brown.
I graciously accept both Councillor Hanson and Councillor Hoyt's recommendation. Thank you.
Awesome. So we'll just need a motion for the chair and the vice chair for MPC. Deputy Mayor Dennis.
I'll make the motion that Councillor Sands will be the chair and Councillor Brown will be the vice chair of the MPC.
Any debate on the motion? I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried unanimously. Thank you. And our last item of business is 5.6, report for council policy remuneration and compensation review.
Great, thank you. This is a report here that's actually just more for your information. I wanted it to be there in front of you guys so that you do have the information that you need as you set out on your term and starting with the various committees. So as outlined in the Council Remuneration and Compensation Policy, a review of the remuneration and compensation for council was conducted this past summer in advance of the election. The review assessed the town of Blackfalds' current remuneration and compensation levels against 13 comparator municipalities as identified by council. In alignment with council policies, the analysis benchmarked compensation at the 75th percentile. So you're looking at the 75th percentile of what other comparators, which is the same philosophy that is used for employees. The findings of the report were provided to the Council Remuneration Committee, and I'll happily put that into council resources because you'll probably find that interesting. And the recommendations were brought forward to council for consideration. The revised policy was adopted by council at the October 14th meeting, and with these new rates coming into effect on January 1st, 2026. So there's actually two policies we're working off. You have one that you'll be working off until the end of this year, and then the new one will come into effect January 1st. The 2026 budget will capture the effect of the changes based on the revised policy. The motion that we are looking for is that council move to receive the council policy remuneration and compensation review report for information. Is there any questions on this?
Does anybody have any questions? Counselor Sands?
If there's no questions or comments on this, I'm prepared to move that council receive the council policy remuneration and compensation review report for information.
Any debate or discussion? Then I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried unanimously. And the meeting is adjourned at 7:14.
Good job.
Thank you, you guys.
Good work.